Well, hey, you guys, I am so excited about this video blog. As you can see, I have a beautiful guest with me today. This is Natalie, and Natalie is a lifestyle fitness guru, basically. Everything with fitness and with healthy eating, and she's a mama too.
So I was trying to get in shape a couple years ago, and I found that watching my nutrition was the easiest way to get back in shape and feel good about myself.
Yes.
When I was feeding my body healthy food, I felt better, I was happier, and so I had to get creative in the kitchen and find ways while we were staying on a budget to still eat healthy. So that is what we're here to talk about.
So great.
So the first tip I have is kind of an interesting tip. So it has to do with spices. Now, when I first started eating healthy, I had to go through my food that I was eating throughout the day, and I had to basically cut the fat, so to speak. So I learned how to season my food with seasonings instead of extra condiments. But most people don't know is that you can get the exact same spices and condiments in the international section of your grocery store as the spices section or the baking aisle of your grocery store for a fraction of the cost, and they're the exact same spices. So
What?
I picked these up this morning. This is oregano. This little package was 69 cents. And if you buy a container this size, of a brand name, you're probably going to pay $3.99 to $4.99 for a thing of the exact same spices.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the label might not be in English, but Now, my second tip is in regards to salad. So a lot of times you go to the grocery store and you think, oh, I want to eat healthy, I'll add a salad to my dinner. And so you buy a prepackaged bag of salad, but they're expensive. Now, if you actually buy the individual ingredients, you can get a whole head of green lettuce for I got this for 99 cents this morning, a bell pepper for 69 cents, and a cucumber, which is usually 69 cents to 99 cents. So that way you can feed a lot more people for less cost.
Yes.
And then what I usually do is at the beginning of the week, we'll make a big salad, put it in an airtight container so it doesn't get wilted. Then you can eat that salad throughout the week.
I love it.
All right, so my next tip might sound kind of weird at first, but I promise you it's a really good suggestion and it saves a lot of money, and it has to do with zucchini. Say you're making hamburgers for dinner. You can actually spread the meat a little bit further by grating up some zucchini and mixing it into your meat before you make your hamburger patties. What you do is you just chop off the end, and then you use your little cheese grater here.
I can hold it for
You want to show a little experiment? I don't know
I
how
love
well
this.
this
I look
works.
like I'm Rachel Ray or something.
I know,
This is
Rachel.
like
And then you just go like this, but you just grate the zucchini.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then you have, at the end, you're going to have this big mound of zucchini. And zucchini has a lot of water in it, so it's going to add a lot of moisture to your hamburger patties. And then you just mix that in with the meat. And I promise, when you cook it, you can't taste it at all. But it's a really good way to sneak vegetables into your food.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I can't wait to do that. Don't tell Winston. Actually, he's probably the healthier one. He would actually enjoy it.
Okay, so our next tip is one of the cheapest ways that you can get a really good quality protein into your diet, and that's eggs. So I will hard boil a whole bunch of eggs, and then I take 2 of the hard boiled eggs and I put them in a Ziploc bag. Take a little bit of hot sauce, and you just put that in there with your eggs, like that. Take a little bit of salt and pepper. And that's a little bit too much
I love salt. You keep going, Natalie. I love salt.
Totally works. And then a little bit of pepper. And then what I do is I just put it in the bag, and you just kind of like shake that up.
Okay.
I just eat it right out of the Ziploc bag. And then there you got a quick, easy, lean protein source.
I buy those kinds of eggs. So for you as a dietitian, though, the pretty brown, nice, organic, pretty eggs.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the color of the eggs is that actually the color of the eggs is only based on the type of chicken that lays that type of egg. So you could have a caged chicken that lives in a cage, but they produce brown eggs. And so I think we all tend to think, oh, brown eggs are healthier.
I do. That's what I think.
But really, it's just because that came from a certain kind of chicken.
You all can take that tip away. That was mostly for me.
Okay, so the last tip has to do with meal prep. And I know some people hear the word meal prep and they groan because it's not fun. I know for me, if I don't have healthy food already prepared in my fridge, guess what? I'm not gonna make it, right?
Totally.
So a lot of times if it's already in my fridge, if it's ready to grab and go, then I'm a lot more likely to actually eat healthy, and then you're gonna save money along the way. Here are 3 things that I like to do. Whenever chicken breasts go on sale, we always stock up, and usually I can find them on sale for $1.99 a pound or so. And then what I do is they usually come in a big container, and then I trim the fat off and I put them in gallon-sized freezer Ziploc bags, and I put them in my freezer. So whenever I wanna make a dinner with chicken, I know that the chicken I'm making that night, I always got when I bought it on sale. Now, brown rice is something that we all hear is healthy and that you should eat, right? But have you ever walked down the rice aisle? It can be confusing. There are all these Uncle Ben's, microwave 1 minute, all these things. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to buy. So here is a brown rice that I bought just for an example, but this was $6 for this little bag of rice, or you can pay 99 cents for this exact same size bag of rice, right? They are different kinds of rice, but what I have found is that if you get the cheaper brown rice, you can find different ways to make it taste more flavorful. So it is more appealing to want to eat. So if you look on the back, it says to boil with 1 cup of water, or usually 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. And if you use beef broth instead, or you can use chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want to keep it vegan, it will just add a lot more flavor to your rice. So if you're putting it with your meal at dinner, it's not just boring old rice. I mean, it is still boring old rice, but it has a little bit more flavor to it. You hear your dad all the time talk about beans and rice and beans.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So that is one way you can cook rice, make it taste
beef and rice. Beef and rice.
We're changing the slogan.
That's right.
And then just the last meal prep suggestion are these potatoes. Potatoes are super cheap. I mean, this is a 5-pound bag of potatoes that was $1.99 at the grocery store. And so another thing that we'll do at the beginning of the week is we'll chop up potatoes and roast them. I like to roast them on 425 degrees with just a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and they're awesome. And then you can use them throughout the day. You can mix them in with your eggs in the morning for breakfast, or you can heat them up at dinner. You can make a dip with plain Greek yogurt and hot sauce, and it's really good sriracha sauce.
I love it. So for more budgeting tips, you can go to rachelcruze.com, and we'll have even some more info on Natalie. So thanks again for stopping by. I so appreciate it.
You're welcome.